Hello. I have a Christmas in Paris blend today. I don't know. I bought this pack of different flavor. Oh, it smells really good. Types of tea just to try lots of different kinds. I really like tea, but I kind of got stuck in a rut, so it's been fun to try something different every time. Oh, that smells like heaven. So I want to tell you the story about the time that I dated my loan officer. So I, at the time, was post-divorce and had been homeless for, I think, about 4 months when I met him. Homeless in the sense that I didn't have a home or a place to rent. Thankfully, I had a really good friend from high school. She let us stay with her and her family. So we weren't out on the streets. We stayed in their basement, and then I helped fix up her house and house it when they went out of town and stuff like that. So we're very grateful to have that scenario because there really wasn't any other option for us. I couldn't have done a hotel or anything like that because my ex-husband messed up the child support. It was just all messed up and it looked bad on paper. And who knows if he did it on purpose or if it was an accident, but it happened. And I lost my loan that I was going to go from our marital home to my first solo house. I lost the loan, and then I had to basically wait about 6 months for everything to recover and show up correctly. So I met this guy, and I can't even remember where we met, honestly, if it was in person or at a dating app, but we had hit it off right away. Everything was kind of in line. We had similar goals, similar values, similar everything. It was kind of almost too perfect. He was, on paper, he was everything that you would look for. And in the beginning, he certainly was showing up and following through. And things got a little muddy, though, because he would always show up when it was related to my loan or anything business-wise. But if it was simply personal, that was where things would get dicey. And I'll be honest and say there were several tear-filled messages that I left on his machine, which now I know that's a complete waste of time. If somebody is leaving you in that in-between, not sure what's happening zone, honestly, just walk away, because it's not going to be good for either of you to continue placating their nonsense, and it's just not going to be healthy for you to stay in that either. So we did date for about 6 months, kind of on and off, but he never let me meet anybody. He never came to where I was. It was never a full intentional relationship where I would feel comfortable saying this is my boyfriend, but we were at the level of exclusivity where this was the person I'm dating, if that makes sense. And it all came to a head because I think he was a workaholic, to be honest. He was always working, and I do wonder if he was maybe seeing somebody else and then not being clear about it, or if he was still attached to someone, just because there were a couple of times when I did call and he was very short and I heard female voice in the background. But none of it was clear, and it could have all been explained with something else. He was moving, there were people that were helping him, but it was weird because he would say he didn't want any help, but then he'd have people help. And it was around that 6 month mark, and I was ready to actually start meeting people in each other's lives before we were to move forward, and he just kept pushing against it. And I just felt I still to this day don't know, and I know he follows me on here, and I don't want any ill will, and I don't hold him responsible for anything that happened. I think we were both just not at the same place back then. And like I said, we weren't really ever official, so if there was something going on, it's not I would consider it cheating. I just don't know that he was intentionally forthcoming like I would have preferred. So we just weren't a match in the end. And I would absolutely use him again as a loan officer if it came to that. But, and we've had some little interactions since then, and everything's good. But just from my perspective, what I learned was that, if it's confusing and you can't have a conversation to clear it up and the confusion persists, you don't need to try to figure it out anymore. Like, you just need to know that that's not for you, because I wasted a lot of my time and energy and emotions on somebody who was probably never going to be in the same place that I was at. And not to say that he's not a great guy, but he's just not a great guy for me. And clearly I was not a great girl for him, because he couldn't pull it together to meet me where I was at. So there's obviously reasons on both sides where it didn't fit, but there was just too much confusion, and I don't know if it was intentional on his part or if it was just like a protective mode. That's my suspicion, is that it was a protective mode, and he just keeps people at a distance for his own reasons. But that's just not what I was looking for. So my lesson is to listen to that, notice that that's happening, and just immediately let it go, because I wasted a lot of time and sat at home a lot wondering if he would actually show up or actually call like he said he would, when honestly, whatever his reasons were, the first time that happened should be a warning of this is not acceptable for me, and the second time should have been goodbye instead of how long it lingered. So listen to what people are doing and make faster choices based on those patterns, because you sticking around and trying to figure it out is not going to change who they are. It's just not.